The village of two brothers in the ancient village of Eldoria, nestled between towering mountains and golden fields, lived two brothers, Arion and Dale. They were born into the same home, raised by the same parents, and taught the same lessons. Yet, as they grew, their perspectives on life became vastly different. Their father, a wise and hard-working man, often told them, "The mind is like a river. If you guide it well, it will take you to great places. But if you let it run wild, it will drown you in despair." At the time, neither of them truly understood the weight of these words. The inheritance of fate. One day, their father passed away, leaving them a modest inheritance, a vast piece of barren land. It was dry, covered in weeds, and surrounded by rocky hills. It had not been farmed in decades. When the brothers stood on their inherited land, their thoughts took different paths. Arion frowned and muttered, "This land is useless. It's too dry, too rocky. No crops will ever grow here. We should sell it and move to the city." Dale, on the other hand, knelt down and ran his fingers through the soil. He smiled. "The land is tough, but not impossible. With enough effort, we can turn it into something beautiful." Arion laughed. "You're a fool, Dale. We will waste years trying, only to fail." Dale shook his head. "I would rather try and fail than never try at all." And so, their paths split. Arion's journey. The path of excuses. Arion left Eldoria and journeyed to the grand city of Orion. There, he searched for easy wealth and success. He took on many jobs, but each time he faced difficulty, he quit. "The market is too competitive. I don't have the right connections. People are luckier than me." Arion never stayed in one place long enough to grow. His mind was filled with doubt and excuses, and so, every failure reinforced his belief that the world was against him. As years passed, he moved from job to job, always blaming fate for his misfortune. Dale's journey. The path of growth. Back in Eldoria, Dale began his journey alone. The land was unforgiving. The sun was harsh, the soil was unyielding, and the nights were cold. The villagers mocked him. "Why waste your time?" they jeered. "This land is cursed. Nothing good will grow here." But Dale did not listen. Each morning, he woke before sunrise and worked the land. He removed stones, tilled the soil, and carried buckets of water from the river miles away. He studied the ways of farming, experimented with new methods, and learned from his mistakes. Seasons passed. The first year yielded nothing. The second year was barely better. But Dale refused to give up. Then, one spring, something miraculous happened. The soil had absorbed years of care, the seeds had taken root, and the first sprouts emerged. Slowly, the barren land transformed. Green fields replaced dry dust. Crops flourished. The village that once mocked him now marveled at his success. The return of Arion. One evening, after many years, Arion returned to Eldoria. He was exhausted, weary from his endless struggles in the city. But what he saw stunned him. The once barren land was now a paradise. Rows of golden wheat swayed in the breeze, fruit trees bore ripe harvests, and rivers of irrigation flowed where dry soil once cracked. Arion's eyes widened. "Whose land is this?" A villager smiled. "This is Dale's farm, the finest land in Eldoria." Arion could hardly believe it. He ran to his brother, who stood beneath the shade of a flourishing apple tree. "Dale, how did you do this?" Arion whispered, his voice filled with disbelief. Dale smiled and placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. "The land was never the problem, Arion. It was always our mindset." Arion suddenly remembered their father's words. "The mind is like a river. If you guide it well, it will take you to great places. But if you let it run wild, it will drown you in despair." He realized that while he had spent years blaming fate, Dale had spent those same years working, learning, and growing. Arion lowered his head. I wasted so much time. Dale shook his head. It's never too late to change. From that day forward, Arion stayed in Eldoria. Under his brother's guidance, he worked the land, not just the soil, but also the field of his own mind. Slowly, he learned that success was not about luck or circumstances, but about effort, patience, and mindset.
Moral of the story: your mindset shapes your future. Excuses will keep you stuck, but effort will move you forward. Failure is not the end, giving up is. Change your mindset, and you will change your destiny.